Hello everyone. We've now reached Module 10. I'm Guido Grinbaum and we're back again. Now that you already understand what microcredentials are, how they are designed, issued and verified, the most difficult step arrives, leading the change, moving from theory to action. This module is for those who will lead the transformation within their institution, for those who have the responsibility to make decisions. Implementing microcredentials is not a technical project, it's a cultural change. And cultural changes are not managed with procedures, they are led with vision. A leader does not impose transformation, they inspire it. They don't seek followers, they create multipliers. The universities that manage to adapt won't be the ones with the biggest budgets, but rather those with the most intellectual courage. For decades, university leadership was based on authority, hierarchy, and tradition. Today, leadership is measured by the ability to connect worlds. The academic with the technological, the classroom with the job market, the past with the future. The new rector, the new dean, is a translator of languages, a connector of realities. The profound change we are experiencing is not just about attracting more students, it's about maintaining relevance. Today, universities compete not in terms of quantity, but in terms of meaning. An institution that issues verifiable microcredentials not only certifies knowledge, it demonstrates impact and proves social relevance. All transformative leadership is built on three pillars: vision, training, and trust. Vision provides direction, training gives strength, and trust gives meaning. Without these three elements, any project is left up in the air. So where do we start? First, explain the why. Not the because, the how, yes, but the why. Because without purpose, no transformation is possible. Second, form the teams. Train teachers, technicians, and administrative staff. Everyone should understand the new language of verifiable learning. Third, run a small, concrete, but real pilot with measurable results. Fourth, formalize internal policies so that change does not depend on individuals, but on structures. And fifth, scale up. Turn the lessons learned from the pilot into an institutional model. Each university has its own pace, but all face the same obstacles: resistance, fear, inertia. Not because people don't want to improve, but because they're afraid of losing what they know. Leadership cannot be imposed by decree. It is exercised with empathy, by listening to resistance, understanding its causes, and transforming fear into participation. There are three simple strategies to overcome that resistance. First include: make teachers the protagonists of change. Second, show early results. Let the community see that it works. And third, celebrate progress, because no change survives if it isn't celebrated. A transformation of this kind cannot be achieved alone. You need a hybrid team, one that combines three essential perspectives: the pedagogical, which ensures academic quality; the technological, which guarantees verification; and the strategic, which keeps alignment with the institutional vision. Leadership is not about knowing everything. It's about coordinating diverse talent with a shared purpose. And to sustain change, you have to measure it. It's not enough to say we're innovating, we have to prove it. Some key indicators: how many programs already have microcredentials? How many teachers have been trained? How many credentials have been shared or verified? And how did they impact the employability of graduates? What gets measured improves, and what improves becomes consolidated. But there is something deeper than numbers: the mindset of a transformative leader. A leader does not fear mistakes. They use them as part of the learning process. They don't need to have all the answers, just the determination to ask the right questions. A leader doesn't persuade with arguments, they inspire with consistency. To lead is not to change everything at once, it is to maintain a clear direction, even when the path is uncertain. It is choosing to move forward, even when there are no maps yet. Because the universities of the future are not built on certainties, but on vision. The future of education does not belong to those who control, it belongs to those who trust. They trust in their teachers, in their students, in their community. They trust in the human capacity to reinvent itself. And that trust is what turns a traditional university into a living university, one that is moving, evolving. That is why this transition is not just about technology. It is about culture, mindset, and purpose. Microcredentials are a tool, yes, but what truly changes is the relationship with knowledge. It ceases to be the property of a few and becomes a shared asset, an ecosystem of trust where everyone wins: the university, the students, and society. If we look ahead, the challenge will be to maintain institutional relevance. The rankings of the future will not measure publications or square meters. They will measure impact, mobility, and connection. The most important universities will not be those with the most buildings, but those with the most partnerships, those that manage to make their credentials speak the languages of the world. This course I am leading is a transformation that is just beginning. Now you know enough to guide your institution toward change, to turn theory into action, to move from diagnosis to implementation. The question is, are you going to wait for the future to catch up with you, or are you going to be the one who builds it? Leading this transition is not just about innovating, it's about giving meaning. It means choosing transparency over opacity, evidence over rhetoric, collaboration over isolation, and understanding that education is not a service. It's a shared responsibility. The coming years will be exciting. We are going to see universities that are more open, more collaborative, more human. And it will all start with something as simple as a badge, a small credential, a symbol of trust. The educational future will be built badge by badge, person by person, university by university. Thank you very much for joining me in this 10th module and throughout this journey for daring to imagine a different kind of education, fairer, freer, more connected. Microcredentials are the tool, but real change lies in the mindset, and that mindset starts with you. See you in the next module, number 11. Thank you very much, and the future has already begun.